Hey guys, welcome to yet another episode of the Hangout with Chels podcast. It's your favorite host, Helen Chels. If you're here for the first time, welcome. Or return to the podcast, welcome back. Guys, I have missed you and I am sorry that I've been MIA. I've postponed this episode and it's time to put it out there. So this is the final episode for season 4 of the Hangout with Chels podcast. And after this we'll be taking a break. Surprisingly, this is not the episode that I wanted to put out. I was going to put out why I believe, but I just couldn't put my thoughts together to record it. But this is also an amazing episode. It's titled The Idol of Marriage, and I really hope that you are able to pick up one or two lessons in this episode. I will be back, I don't know, but sometime this year to start the new season. And by God's grace, I will be starting with why I believe. Alright guys, settle in. Listen. This was supposed to be my journal entry about, and while I was going home, on my way home, I was thinking about it, and I just felt it dropped that. I just felt God telling me that I needed to put it out for a much wider audience, and that's why we're here today. So this is me being a lot more spontaneous in terms of just not having anything scripted and just trusting God to give me the words. So. And before somebody comes and says, you don't know what you're talking about. Hey babe, I'm 30. I wanted to put that out there first of all. I'm 30. I'm 31 in another couple of months. My birthday is in October. You can buy me books. But yeah, that's the what we're talking about. And if you're Nigerian and I don't want to be tribalistic to say if you're Igbo, but of course, if you're Nigerian or you're a female in general, it doesn't even have to be Nigerian. But I feel like Nigerian mothers, they sort of bring the whole you being single, like they just have this way of making you feel the impact or the weight of it. And at 30, you're no longer, according to popular jingo, you're no longer in bloom. So you're more like, you know how a flower is planted and it starts to grow and grow and grow, and it gets to a point in time when it blooms. So that is how women are likened to. So they're likened to flowers that bloom. So at the peak of that blooming period is in your early 20s, right? So when you become 26 and you start inching close to 30, you're no longer in bloom, or the flowers are beginning to wither. And every time I hear that analogy, it just sounds super crazy, like bloom, wither. And then the other thing that just makes me absolutely mad is when I hear, XYZ is off the market. I'm like, off the market? What markets? Are we now commodities that are being traded on the Nigerian Stock Exchange or on the New York Stock Exchange or on the London Stock Exchange? But that's still not the crux of the matter. Let's get back on track. So the idol of marriage. At 30, we've prayed every prayer that can be prayed, and you've received all the prophecies that can be prophesied, and you've heard all the jokes and all the snide remarks and all the Maybe you were being too selective. Maybe you need to go to Shiloh. Maybe you need to cut down your standards. Maybe you need to do one or two things. Maybe you need to even pray harder. Maybe you're not praying. You're invited for every singles conference that comes up. You're invited for every crusade where they're going to be praying for singles. You're invited for anything that has the singles. You're told all the reasons why. It's because you didn't give people attention when you were much younger, and on and on and on and on. And if you're not careful, these things begin to seep into your subconscious. That's all you begin to think about. That's everything that happens to you. Begin to look at every single future relationship that you might enter into, through the lenses of a marriage. Of course, I'm not saying that you cannot or you shouldn't check your potential being your boyfriend to know if you're not wasting your time, or you should, of course, pray about it. You're a Christian, so you should pray about before stepping into any relationship. But it's the fact that you then have this list in your head where you begin to tick off. So every person that comes into your life, whether they are for marriage or not, as long as they're of the opposite sex, you're ticking off things. Oh, he's marriage material, she's marriage material. And I feel like maybe this is tilted towards more of the ladies, because I'm a lady, so. But anyhow, so listen. and then walking this road where it's hard, like super, super hard. And I'm really going to be as vulnerable as I can be, as open as I can be. And when I say it's hard, it is hard. And I'm speaking because I'm walking the road. At 38, what is a blooming career, if I might say so myself, right? Stressful. Dee will tell you that I complain all the time about how stressful my work is, but I love what I do, and the financial freedom that it gives me. I enjoy my job. Tiring, stressful it is, I enjoy what I do. And sometimes I think and I imagine to myself, how am I going to balance all of this? Say I get married, or when I get married and then children come into the mix, how do I balance all of that? Of course, that's a story for another time. When you get to the bridge, you would learn to cross it. Of course, there are people who are married and are making a blast out of it, so that's not an issue. But the point is, you've had this marriage thing for so long. I've had this marriage thing for so long. I have a journal to FH, to a future husband I don't know. And I'm losing my train of thought. I'm back. Okay. So I have this journal to FH where I write about stuff that are going on in my day, people I met. Just sometimes it's the most random gists, or sometimes we just say I love you, and then just like prayers and stuff and all of that. And then I was going through Instagram. And I saw something on someone's page about casting up or laying up an idol of marriage in your heart, and letting that just become the entirety of what you think about. Every single thing, every single prayer request, everything, all your thought and everything is just marriage centered. And I was thinking about it, and what solidified it for me was I got home that night, and my mother, there's a crusade going on in my church, right, in my parish, and my mother says, or my siblings are saying, they're going to pray for singles and people who want to get a visa. And my mother goes, would you be able to come back early? you should be able to find, can you come back early and all of that. I'm like, no, I can't come back early. I won't be able to come back early. And she goes on and on about how God is going to do it. There's going to be testimony in the family and all of that. And I hear this prayer all the time. Marriage blessings, international blessings and all of that. And I'm saying it mentally that I tell FH, your mother-in-law is seriously praying for you. But every time this comes up, I just get this feeling that there's more to singlehood than being in some kind of limbo where you're waiting for this special one to come. What am I doing with this time that I'm single? I remember someone that came to pray on the behest of my mother, and he said, "What I think it's only D. I think it's D and another of my friend. I think it's D and Sales that I've told this story to." And he said, "What do you want God to do for you?" At that time, I was looking for a promotion at work, and my spiritual life had been in some shambles of some sort, and I needed to get that back on track. And of course, I knew why my mother asked him to come. It was the marriage thing. So when he asked me, I think it's a 3 things or something, and I said I wanted to have a closer walk with God. And I think I mentioned the promotions and then marriage, or marriage before promotion, or promotion before marriage, something like that. But the first thing I know I said was that I wanted a closer walk with God. And his land went on and on and on and on about people he had prayed for that chose other things before marriage, and how in their later years they regret, and why when he prayed for them they didn't choose marriage first. And in my head I'm like, this is not my God. My God isn't wicked. My God doesn't hold grudges. My God isn't going to say, because I didn't ask for XYZ in this time, when I then ask, he's going to withhold his blessings from me, right? And I was reading something in my letters today, and it said, what do you want to know? What do you want to know that you think I'm holding out on you? Here's what you need to know. I love you and I never forget you. Your life is my preoccupation. You're part of my plan for this world, which I love, and I desire to heal and bring to life, and you have me. I don't want this world to miss out on what I've always had for it, as I hold out my hand. And the things that struck me were these. What do you want to know that you think I'm holding out on you? And I feel like what I'm learning to unlearn, I don't know everything. I don't know the plans. Jeremiah 29 verse 11 says, I know the plans I have for you, they are good and all of that. But I don't see the full picture. But I need that to settle into my consciousness that God is not holding out anything. It's not dangling some marriage thing, or it's not dangling some husband and just teasing me with it and just using my feelings to play. He's not holding out on me. My entire life is his preoccupation. I'm loved. Whatever void I have in my heart can only be filled by God. And to begin to desire God for who He is, desire to know Him, desire to love Him, desire to serve Him, desire to walk intimately with Him, to have a genuine relationship with Him, not a trade by barter one. Not that I have served you, so my reward for serving you is a husband, or my reward for serving you is a wife. Should you remind God of His promises? Yes. Does God enter into covenants with people where He asks them to do something and He would do X, Y, Z in return? Yes, there are tons of Bible verses that relate to that and all of that. If that's not the sum and the entirety of our worship, I can't live my life waiting for XYZ to show up or FH to show up. My life can be on course because somebody refuses to show up. And I feel and I know that gradually I have made this marriage thing an idol in my heart. Everything I think about is marriage. Every time I'm praying, it's marriage. Should you pray without ceasing? Yes. I feel like I don't want to be misunderstood. Should you pray without ceasing marriage? Should you pray without ceasing? Yes. If there's something in your heart and you need to tenaciously hold on to it and just ask God and just keep asking and asking. He's asked you to come before Him boldly and ask. But when do you think that you're moving and you've moved to the point where marriage, being married, being called a married woman or a married man becomes this thing that you worship, becomes this thing that you hold in high regards other than God, becomes the only thing that you come to God for, not to worship Him, not to serve Him, but just because I need something from you, so I'm going to keep coming. And I was also reading my letter and it says, what do you hold on to other than me? What is more solid than I am? What is more strong? What is more loving? What is more dependable? Nothing will compare to how much God loves you. Nothing. No relationship would be better than His love. So I think maybe it is important that we go back into our secret places. Introspection is amazing. And just think, have I erected an idol of marriage in my heart? Do I seek this marriage and all its beautiful benefits? See, love is sweet. Love is sweet. Marriage is sweet. Forget everything that you see on social media. Love is sweet. And God desires the best for you. God desires that you're happy, that you're thriving, that you're blessed. He desires that. But most importantly, He desires that you know Him, that you serve Him, that you love Him above all else. There's no marriage in heaven. You know when my mother goes on and on and on and I tell her, there's no marriage in heaven. You think that I don't know that I want to be married? You think that I don't know that I'm 30? I know. And I'm praying about it. But I'm not going to jump from pastor to pastor. I'm not going to jump from crusade to crusade. I'm not going to go to Shiloh. Where I am doing my work, right? Doing that which God has called me to do is where God is going to find me. Hands on the plow, no looking back. And I say it because I know it's hard. It's hard not to worry. It's hard not to ask God when. It's super hard. But all will be harder. It will be more painful. It was in heaven. So people, go back and think and ask God, help me to be strong, help me to be firm, give me your grace, give me your strength. Of course, pray for the babe. Please don't say that I said you should not pray. Please pray for the husband, that you find the right person, because the things I see on the streets or social media they're mind blowing. So of course, pray that this person finds you, you find the person, you guys are in love, you have an amazing time and all of that. But most importantly, that your walk with God is strong and stable, that your relationship with Him grows more intimate day and day, that you're not bowing to any idol, that the only person that is the center of your being, the center of your focus, the one person who will stand at the end of the day, the one true source of your joy and happiness, the one person who makes you whole, the person that you can depend upon is God. Every other thing is vanity. Bye, guys. Thank you guys for listening. If you got to this point, you know by now that you're at the real deal. And this is the end of season 4 of the Hangouts with Us podcast. It has been an amazing ride all the way from last year to this point, and I cannot thank you guys enough. I'm super glad to be doing this for you all. I will see you guys in season 5, bigger and better by God's grace. And I'm feeling somehow, so I feel that there might be a bonus episode if I can find the time to record. There are 2 things on my mind. I don't know if I'm going to make them to be episodes in the new season, but there are 2 things on my mind that Abba is calling me to. It's back to the basics and choosing Him. So those things are like topics that might come up in the next season, but either ways, remember, you are loved. Nobody defines you other than God. Have a wonderful day wherever you are listening to the sound of my voice. Bye-bye.